Once again, wherever you are joining us from, you're most welcome to today's live tutorials. Once again, we are going to continue with our promotion aptitude test tutorials, and we would like to share with you some of the few questions that you need to help you pass your promotion aptitude tests. But before that, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share with those who are going to write the promotion aptitude tests, your friends. And we're ending this with today's tutorial for the week, or probably Sunday. We may come back strong again to share with you another important thing about the promotion aptitude test. So let's just dive into it, see some areas that we need to share again, or we need to learn again before the promotion aptitude test. So let's just jump into it and see or discuss some of the questions that we need to be very careful with them. Those who are watching me, kindly do me a favor by liking the video and subscribing. Be part of this family, or be part of this brand, and pass your promotion aptitude test. Your support is to just like and share and subscribe. So let's dive into the questions areas and look at some few questions to end this week. So question number 1: how many management levels have GS, or how many management levels are in GS? There are 4 management levels that you need to know as a promotion candidate. 4 management levels. We have the school level, the district level, the regional level, and the national level of management. So the school level management headed by the head teacher, the district by the district education director, then the regional management level headed by the regional education director, and the national which is headed by the Director General of Ghana Education Service. So you need to know this. So which entity settled dispute between the employer and the employee? So Ghana Education Service as the employer, and the teachers or the workers in Ghana Education Service as the employee. So if there is a dispute between them, who settle it, or talking about the workforce in Ghana, so is the National Labour Commission that settled disputes between the employer, that is the government, or the ministry that is representing the government, and the workers. So National Labour Commission is in charge of settlement of disputes between the employer and the employee. Which organization is responsible for the nation's fiscal policy, or which entity is responsible for the nation fiscal policy? That is the Ministry of Finance. They are in charge of the fiscal policies, or the money, something talking about the monetary aspect. It is the Ministry of Education. So the Ministry of Finance. The Ministry of Finance that are into the nation's fiscal policy development. So take good note of. Then the entity that is in charge of the monetary policy of the country is the Bank of Ghana. Bank of Ghana is in charge of the monetary, and the fiscal policies are in charge of the Ministry of Education, while the monetary one is in charge of is being responsible by the Bank of Ghana. Which commission is responsible for setting standard for appointment, promotions, discipline for public sector employees? Public sector employees. So the one that is in charge of the appointment, the promotions, the discipline of the public sector employees is the Public Service Commission. The Public Service Commission is in charge of appointment of employees in the public sector and promotions and discipline. So take good note of them. So another question that is of importance is this one. When was the continuation school instituted in Ghana? It was instituted in 1964. 1964, the continuation school. Schools, take good note of them before you go and write your promotion aptitude test. They are much of importance that you need to know. So, which policy was introduced in 1961? In the 1961 Act of Education, that's the first act of the first act that concerned or that gave the education a limelight in 1961 by Nkrumah's government. A policy was introduced, and that was a fee-free universal primary education. So there was no fee to be charged on the primary education, and it was in this 1961 Educational Act, Act 87, that brought about the fee-free universal primary education. Then when was the junior high secondary school fully implemented? It was implemented in 1987. It was piloted in 1976. It was piloted in 1976, but the full implementation took place in 1987. So almost some years came before the implementation of the junior high school education. Which of the following is not an autonomous body of GS? Which of them is not an autonomous body of GS? And we have the National School Inspectorate Authority is an autonomous body under GS. Then we also have National Teaching Council as one of the autonomous bodies, and National Council for Curriculum and Assessment. These bodies were established under the 2008 Educational Reformed Act 778, and was given a regulatory backing in 2020 with the Act 1023. So the one that is not part is Ghana Library Authority. That one is not an autonomous body. Which governing authority is responsible for matters relating to licensing of teachers? This question keep on appearing, keep on resurfacing all the time. So the one that is in charge of licensing or A body that is in charge or responsible for licensing of teachers in Ghana is National Teaching Council, or the NTC. Then, which is not a component of educational system. So we have component of educational system. Yesterday I talked about this, and it keeps on repeating in some aspect of the questions. So we have the stakeholders, the content, the fiscal infrastructure, and the processing or the processes of education. So take good note of this. Then a term is given to the benefit that accrued to the society from the education of an individual, and the benefit that educated person receives for his or her education is known as what? Externality of education. Externalities of education. So this is a situation. Externality of education simply means what the society gain from the person it trains in the educational system. So assuming as a teacher, what does the society gain from a teacher? So the society gives to the person, and the person gives back to the society. So the benefit that the society enjoys from an educated person, and the benefit that that education person receive from education is externality of education. So take good note. It's very, very important. And which age does basic education commence? Commence from age 4. When a child is 4 years, the child is sent to school, or the child starts their education in Ghana. One name is given to the content matter of teaching. One name is given to the content matter of education. The content matter of education. The name that is given to it is educational programs, or another name for content in education is educational programs, or on the vice versa. The educational programs are also known as the content. So take good note of the method and or the pedagogy which teachers employed in the classroom or outside the classroom is known as educational process. Educational process. Take good note of this before you go and write your promotion aptitude test. So very, very important. When was the first free textbooks policy rolled out? 1963. So in 1963, after the fee-free primary education, universal primary education was introduced in 1961. After um, 2 years down the line, another policy was introduced, that the free textbook policy was rolled out in 1963. So take good note of them. So at a school level, there are two main agencies or bodies that support the school. What are they? One is the PTA and the SMC. At the senior high level is the Governors. Board of Governors at the senior high school level. So at the school level, we have PTA, we have SMC, and or we have the Board of Governors. They are the main agencies that support the school for education to be rolled out, which does not account for the formation of policies by the government. So if any government want to bring out any educational policies, the processes that it is taken through are: one, identification of the challenge. There should be a problem identification before any policy will come out. There should be identification of a problem or a challenge in the system to be solved. Then after that, they need um, resources to support the implementation of the policy that is being embarked on. Then after that, monitoring is done to the policy. So the policy goes through monitoring or supervision and evaluation of the policy to see its effectiveness or its failure. So the one that is not part is reinstatement policy. Reinstatement policy is not part. So take good note of it. All are roles of the Ministry of Education. The Ministry of Education has a role to play, has a function to play. What are some of the roles of the Ministry of Education? So all are rules of Ministry of Education except. So the Ministry of Education formulates policies and programs to be implemented by the implementing agencies under the Ministry of Education. Then allocation of resources to the various agencies under the Ministry of Education. So it's very, very important. Then monitoring and evaluation is also done by the Ministry of Education. So what the Ministry of Education does not do is the registration of teachers. Registration of teachers is done by NTC, that is the National Teaching Council. It is done by that. So which leave is not being enjoyed by basic school teachers? Basic school teachers. We enjoy some leaves like maternity leave by our female teachers. They also have sick leave. We have study leave with pay or without pay. We also have casual leave. We also have um, emergency leave. These are leave that teachers enjoy on long vacations. Then um, annual leave is enjoyed by those in the offices or the education directorate that you get to know this before you go and write the promotion exam. The following are management tools except it keeps on appearing. This question keep on appearing. So management tools can talk about the time table, you can talk about the charts, you can talk about a movement book, logbook, and the rest, and the financial books. They are management tools to manage the school. So exercise book is not part. Then the government raises income through the following, except which of the following are measures that government raises um, income from through dividends that they get from the natural resources when they invest in. Then through borrowing. Borrowing is also one of the ways that government raises fund from. Then fines, royalties. So government does not raise fund from um, building a road. Building a road, government does not raise fund. Then farming products or state funds products, government also raises funds from those um, areas. Government spend income through the following, except which of them are not the ways that government spend. Government spend in economic infrastructure, building infrastructure that would bring out money, that will yield a dividend. Then social infrastructure, government spend on social infrastructure. Then fulfilling the international obligations like bonds or borrowing that they do, they need to fulfill those international obligations. So government does not spend on domestic and foreign borrowing. No. Then what another name is given to educational programs? Content. It has appeared here. So another name given to educational programs is content. Have it in your mind before you go and write promotion aptitude test. Then educational processes is same as methods or pedagogies. So take a good look at them before you go and write the promotion aptitude test. So the following are educational policies, except which of these of the following are not educational policies? Well, the FQ is a policy, free universal basic education. It's a policy. Then school going age is a policy. Compulsory basic education, as I mentioned. Then student loan scheme is a policy. So national health insurance is not a policy under education. So take good note of. Then the benefit and the privileges that a teacher enjoys because they are members of GS is known as what? They are known as condition of service. So your condition of service are the French benefits and privileges that you enjoy as a teacher in Ghana Education Service. So condition of service. Then the progression or the rank that teachers go to in line of their duty is known as a scheme of service. This question um, happened in the year 2020-2021 promotion aptitude test. You need to take good note of them before you go and sit for your promotion aptitude test. Then another one, um, which is the role of GS Council? What are the functions of GS Council? Council has a lot of functions to perform. GS Council. Um, what is the function of the GS Council? The GS Council does not design curriculum or does not revoke the licenses of teachers. So the design of the curriculum is in the hands of NACA. Then the revocation of teachers' licenses is in the hands of NTC. Then provision of infrastructure is in the hands of the Ministry of Education, but not GS Council. So what the GS Council does is advising the minister on matters as the minister, the GS Council advises the minister on. Then which act established GS Council? Which act established GS Council? So the Act 506 1995 established GS Council. Act 506 Act 506 1995 established the GS Council. So take note before you go and write your promotion aptitude test. Then which of the following is not a technique to achieve a good classroom management? So if you want to manage your classroom well, which of these technique is not? So in managing your classroom, first of all, you need to know the name of your learners or your students. Know the background of your student is very, very important. Then you need to establish and enforce rules and procedures for routine classroom activities. When you are establishing the rules and the procedures, you establish it with the learners. The learners are part of the rule and the procedures establishing in the classroom for the routine classroom activities. So that is one of the good techniques in management and managing classroom activities. Then show a good example to the learners. As a teacher, you need to show a good example. You need to demonstrate a good behavior. Your your acts in the classroom should serve as a role model for the learners to learn. But the one that is not part is using praise indiscriminately. That one is not part. It's not part of classroom management. So get to know that before you go and write your promotion exams. this weekend that you need to sit down and go through and share with your friends what you have learned. Those who are going on promotion, share with them before you go and write your promotion exams. Thank you and God bless you. Continue to subscribe, like, and share with those who are going to write. So, whoever is watching me, don't forget to like this video and don't forget to subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, please kindly subscribe and like and share with those who are going to write the promotion aptitude test. Wishing you a nice weekend. We shall be back on Sunday for another interesting tutorial. Have a good weekend.